Hey guys, by the weather, you wouldn't think it, but it's the day after Christmas. And I'm doing this survival challenge I got from Intense Angler. Intense Angler John and his son took this survival box challenge, and you have to survive out of this. The only thing in addition to this you can bring is, let me show you what I brought. Hold on a second. I like the tie. Got it for Christmas. Inside the pack here, I just brought this bandana. I'm supposed to bring a canteen. I don't have a really light canteen. I got the Crusader, so I just brought a bottle of water. And I believe you're really allowed to bring one bedding item. I brought this. You might recognize this. I've used this when I was going through East Fork Canyon. Which you're supposed to bring a knife. Can't be a it can't be a multi-tool. It's got to be a regular knife. So this is the Folkniven A1. Folkniven F1. I'm sorry. It's the F1. Colin from Colin Outdoors. He both gave me this knife, and he made the thing here. So that's my knife of choice for this trip. So let me get the camera off and show you what's inside the box. I got this box about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, almost 4 weeks ago. But the temperatures in this area dropped down to 16 degrees. Snow was down to the 3,000 to 2,500 foot level a while back. Now I'm looking up at an 8,000 foot peak, and I don't see any snow. The only snow you see is in the back sides of the mountains where it stays in the shade. But still, I was at my girlfriend's house, and she lives at 4,200 foot elevation over in Baldy by the ranger station. And last night I believe it dropped down to about 20 degrees. It was cold. We had to light a fire. Even in the house we lit a fire, in the fireplace. So let me show. I have not opened this box. I have no idea what's in this box. That's part of the rules, part of the challenge. Okay, here it goes. First time. Everybody at work, I've known about this for about a week, about 2 weeks. And they've been asking me, what's in it, what's in it, what's in it? So I have no idea, no clue. All I know is, before I open this, I'll say, John from Intense Angler, he said, I'm not gonna make this easy, brother. And then he wrote in quotations, evil laugh. So let's see what he did. Already I can see some kind of fur. Got some vodka. Empty bottle. Okay, let's see what we got here. Survival challenge. Well, my friend, it looks like you have gotten yourself into another fine predicament. Ha ha ha. As you read this, I'm sitting here in a nice warm house while you're miles into the cold, remote and desolate backpacking backcountry, with nothing but the contents of this box to survive for the next 24 hours. You can rest assured that my thoughts are with you. Right on. The Broncos just scored another touchdown. Woohoo! That can tell you a time frame for when I got this, when he sent it. Sorry, where was I? Oh yeah, the challenge. The contents of this package are meant to test not only your ability to survive, but your creativity, ingenuity, and resourcefulness. Well, you find many more items here than you can average person would be fortunate enough to have in a real emergency. I still have not gone easy on you. Everything you need to sustain life is here. You need to look for it, possibly in unexpected places. A couple of items contained in this Pandora's box of survival are types of what may be found in actual survival kits. However, since the typical survival scenario involves someone who's not prepared, I have also included many completely random items which may be found in a vehicle, a purse, or in your pockets. Other items are things that you may have picked up along the way. Feel free to salvage along the way as well. I have included minimal amount of food. I still expect you to catch a few fish though. Your challenge is to use many of these items as you can, not only to survive, but to do it as comfortably as possible and have a bit of fun in the process. Well, not too much fun, as some of the items you will find here may suggest. Enjoy the experience, brother, and you better get started now. It'll be dark sooner than you think. Be safe, John. Okay, that's John from let me show you what's in here. A coonskin hat. Got a coonskin hat. Oh, he did include some food. There's some tuna, some Propel Zero. Looks like some coffee, oats. Shoot, this is like checking into the Holiday Inn. An empty can for boiling. Some goggles. And a really cool, looks like a little shaving pack or something. Let's see. Oh, a cassette tape. I don't know, a car with the cassette player still in it. Some nail polish. What's this? Camera? Some fishing line, 4 pound. Let's see. Some kind of, oh, a light. Pizza card, a knife, utility knife, pencil, a lighter. Actually, the lighter's broken, so just a spark. Zip ties. Looks like a dog chew. Some kind of dog leathery chew they take. Some wire. Some wax. Alcohol. Some Band-Aids. Q-tips. Condoms. Let's see. Some duct tape over a credit card. Striker, no matches. A glow stick, which means I won't have to use mine. By the way, I'm not going to use mine for the survival. The glow stick I brought is a 12-hour glow stick. That's only if I need to get back to my car in an emergency. And a lot of you say emergencies never pop up, but I've had a few where they did. One, I was on top of Baldy. A plastic bag. I can make a mattress out of this. A hamster. Looks like some matches. Foil. I can boil water in this. Emergency blanket. Remote control. Let's see. Some bags. I can get some water and take it with me. Uh-oh, John. I wonder if you meant to put this in there. Well, some paracord, lighter, a dye, Ziploc, and a ShamWow. No, it's a bag. I thought it was a ShamWow. If you cut sections of that and split it, it's easy to hollow out. You can actually boil, heat up rocks and put it in there and boil your water in that. You can sterilize water in those. These are the yucca plants that grow around the base. The tip is like a needle. You can split it from the bottom up. You can make cordage out of this. You can leave one attached to the needle. If I get some time, I'll show you how to do it later. I hear something up there in the bushes. I think it's a deer. Something big walking around. Bears are asleep. Hopefully ain't no mountain lion. That would seriously suck. Looked off that way, you'd expect to see those old MASH helicopters coming over there. Okay, I've got some stuff together here, some yucca things, and try to build a shelter right here against this rock. It's a good place because the wind will be blocked. If the wind's coming down through these canyon, I'll be blocked off by the rock here to my left, and these bushes to the right. The wind's usually blowing out this way, so it should be alright. But looking inside this, I see where John's put some safety pins. And if you've seen one of his videos, one of his latest videos, he took one of these, bent it with some pliers. He made a lure with this, a split shot, and a hook. He's given me some lure components here, where if I were some deeper water, would come in handy. But this stream over here, I've not seen anything over 10 inches deep in the last mile or two. It's kind of a getting low. I think I'm reaching the beginning of it, maybe the spring. I haven't seen any trout in a while, so trout are going to be down here. I'm going to run down and try to get me a few. But there's a plastic worm. They're called plastic worms, they're actually rubber. An eyelet, a couple safety pins. It's got some good stuff in here. I've got to find a way to make some fire now. This blanket, I've got this, but everything back here is wet from the snow. Snow was a couple weeks ago, but it's still wet. On my knees right here, I'm getting soaked. So fire might be a problem. See if I can figure something out. Okay, I did find a hook. Looks like it's about size 14 or 16. Like a salmon egg hook. Anodized red one. I was lucky because it flew out and landed over here and I found it. I'm going to use some of this 4-pound trilene. Try to get me some trout. Okay, I've taken this water bag here and I've cut this filter thing out of it. It had holes all over it. I wouldn't have needed that much water anyway. But I split that down as a ground cloth. I found a nice area with some soft dirt and some soft grass here. Then I opened this up and look at this name. Pharaoh. Room? Who knows? I'm going to try to fill this up with some of this grass here to keep my torso, keep my core from the ground sucking all the heat out of me. So I got these sticks together to put up over me this way in case the wind comes up. Well, messing around with this comes down and lands on me. Bad day for a bee, good day for me, possibly a good day for a trout. This will fit perfect on that little hook. I might be able to get a trout yet. But I got minimum things to build a shelter on here. Angeles Forest, you cannot cut a tree down. I wouldn't want to cut a tree down. Anyway, and all the ones that are already down are been down for years and they're rotting. You try to pick them up, try to move them, try to roll them, and they just fall apart. Just water rot. So I've got limited resources for making a shelter. I'm going to do the best I can. I've got that. Like I say, it's relatively warm, so a space blanket should be fine. And he allowed me to bring one bedding item with me. That bedding item, I brought that bivy sack. So my plan is to put this up here covered by the space blanket, but I need to put that lower. And I'm going to get inside the bivy sack. I'll be fine. Sleepy time music. Okay, meaning that we're just going for the overnight emergency shelter. I just do something together quick because I got like an hour and a half of sun left. I use this tape to hold the thing together. It's fairly sturdy. Won't blow over, definitely. I got a lot of tape left over. Now John gave me this Intense Angler. He gave me this thing, and he's already put duct tape on the corners and made tie down. But if he didn't, what you can do is you can put a rock in here, and you can fold that over, tie some string around this rock. You got your place for guy line. Now if you haven't got any string, like I say, let me show you this yucca. You gotta reach down there real carefully. These are like saws, and these are like needles. You gotta reach down real carefully and pull one of those out. Actually cut one of those out. And then you just pull that off in strips. And there's a needle at the end. You leave that needle on the biggest strip, and you got yourself a sewing setup. I'll pull it apart and show it to you. Okay, take a look at this. You can split this down over and over and over and over until you get down to some real fine stuff. You can roll that together and make cord. But the center one that's attached to that needle point, you just pull that out. I have myself a needle, 2 feet of thread. Let me show you how well this works. So I could have used this to hold the tarp. See that? Look at this. This stuff grows everywhere. So if you ever rip your backpack, rip your pants, rip your shirt while you're out, this can be a quick fix. Now I brought that emergency bivvy. I was going to try not to use it, but I think I'm going to need to tonight. I don't think this emergency blanket will do. So I could have wrapped in that right on the ground, but there's no chance in rain. No chance of rain at all. So I might be better off just taking this off and just wrapping inside of it. Or if I bought that emergency bivvy, which is made out of the same stuff, I could lay down inside there and this will keep the breeze off. Survival challenge, you're supposed to use everything in the box. So I've used these pink ties, I've used the cassette tape, I've used the steel rods, I've used the rubber band, even the glow-in-the-dark star. There's a whole lot of more bizarre items in here. I'm going to try to figure out how to use them, but first I'm prepping for the cold. Okay, I wanted some pine branches to cover this up. I'm not going to, so I think I'm going to split this bag and tie it on there just to block the wind, if the wind comes up. If not, that's a decent bag. Now, I've blocked that off with rocks down there because I've heard a few rats or squirrels over in these bushes here. I'd rather not have a rat coming in. Not like that's going to stop them, but does the mind a little bit of ease. I put this in here so nothing big can get through. By the way, I didn't cut this down. This was tipped over and rotted. You can see all that was already rotted. That was the only part holding it. It was on the ground. So this is the only actual way in. I'm going to continue looking for something to cover that, something to cover this, and then go through that one last time, see if I can find a way to make fire. Unless I'm missing something, I've opened everything up to see if I can find any match, any fuel, any type of way, but I see nothing except for that broken lighter that makes the spark, and everything here is wet. Usually I bring in some fire tinder, but this being a survival thing, you're not supposed to bring anything in. So, looks like I'm in jail there, in a cage. Hope nobody comes hiking by here and says, look at this guy, homeless guy back here. This here, I'm going to put this in my shirt behind me in my back. Some more added warmth. Right now it's probably down 60s, is my guess. Okay, moon's out. It's only a fraction of the moon. It's gonna be a dark night. Sun's almost gone. he gave me this little pack of these glow sticks. I don't know how long they last. I'm gonna crack one in a little while. Keep the other one with me. Now, this tie, I brought this tie just for fun. I'm not gonna use that. I brought this to tie around my head because the gnats sometimes up here get really bad, but it's cold right now. I mean, it's cold. It's inside here, I got nothing now. My water bottle's inside. But this is what I was talking about. I got this focus here. It's Heat Sheets Emergency Bivy. I'm going to use this if I cannot make it. Okay, these little glow sticks, they don't put out any light at all. Let me show you. I'll shut this light off. That's it. So unless I use the camera light, which is cheating, I got no light tonight. Oh well. Well, I made it. It got cold, real cold. But the shelter of what it is held pretty good. The wind came up for a short time. Nothing blew off. It did start rattling around, so I set some of these sticks on top. So underneath I've got sticks going this way, top this way. But I had to use my emergency bivy. And the condensation inside, it's dripping wet. I'm gonna turn this thing inside out and let it air out. But I used that piece of foil you gave me, John. See the condensation? I used that piece of foil you gave me under this. Try to reflect some body heat. I am sore. I've got a sore back and some sore hips. Okay, check this out. I was going to do this last night, but I ran out of time. I know John does some good sewing, and he can disguise a seam very well. So I felt something in here, and this pull string didn't work anymore. So when I opened this up, voila, the matches, the missing matches. So I will be able to cook some trout today. Okay, I'm using this as a screwdriver to take out these little screws here. Well, it turned out to be a shot in the dark and a miss. Either the batteries are dead or the bulb's burnt out, because even with direct contact, nothing. So maybe there's something in the remote control. There's a reason he gave me these two items, so I can figure it out. Hope to do this at least 3 or 4 times to get enough to fill that bottle. And try to build a fire up there. Sterilize this water using this can. Okay, I got some of the cardboard from the cardboard box down here. Some dry leaves, broken sticks, a bunch of other sticks ready. Got this filled with water. I'm going to fill this up for the walk out. Now, batteries for light. This camera, he gave me this camera for some reason. Now I open this up, this battery works. So I'm going to try using that light bulb with this battery. But I want to get this fire going first. Inside of these are the things that grow out of where, let me show you. Okay, there's one right there. Were those yuccas, the ones I used for a thread? These stalks usually grow straight up out of the center. It's a great knife. Okay, I've got the bottle almost completely full. It's taken 3 of these. Every once in a while, the fire will go out and I'll have to put some more on top of it and blow it and get it going again. But this can get really hot. There we go. With this last one, I've now got this full. It's warm, but it's capped. I'm gonna put it in the stream up to here to let it cool off. With this one, I'm gonna actually make some of the coffee he gave me. Okay, aside from the coffee making here, inside those goodies there was a camera. Got that battery. Inside there was a little light. This little thing I showed you yesterday. Now, the batteries were dead in one. The batteries are alive in the other. Check this out. I don't know if you can see that, but I have a flashlight. Awesome. Sure could have used that last night. So inside this food pack, I got some oatmeal soup mix. A lot. This is a big soup mix. And some tuna. Propel. I'll be adding this to my water, I believe. And a coffee. Starbucks at that. This is better coffee out here than I actually have at work. So this is about to boil. A few more minutes, I'll be having some coffee. Just as the water was reaching a boil, it boiled over. Put the fire out. But I believe it's totally safe to drink. Can't even put my finger in there, it's that hot. To give you an idea how wet things are around here, I kneel down, soaked. Getting a fire is not really easy. Use the insides of the those yucca stalks. That's what Aborigines make the didgeridoos out of. Okay, the fire's been put out. I brought some water up, put it on it. Buried with moist dirt. Can't stress enough how much you want to do this, especially in dry places like this. The burnt rocks, I'm going to take them down, put them in the river. Nobody wants to come up looking at something like this. Okay, I've got that small red hook tied on the spool. I've got my bee that I caught yesterday inside of this tackle box. I've got my coffee to go. I've got all the trash picked up. This fire totally buried. The rocks are down in the river. And I'm ready to get out of here. You'd never know I was here except for this cleared spot. It's the strongest coffee I've ever had. I don't think I added enough water. I'll be averaging 7 miles an hour out of here. Anyway, cheers guys. Give you an idea how cold it was last night. I believe it got down to about the 20s. High 20s, mid 20s. Frost on the grass. With that bee, kept that bee all day. Just kept letting it go underneath this rock. Kind of hard to hold the camera and do this at the same time. But I just kept letting that bee drop directly under this rock with the current. That's what the trilene you gave me. Oh, and it just went in the water for the 3rd or 4th time. Let's see. Yeah! Well, he's too small to eat. In a survival situation, Here, wait. Okay, in a survival situation, I'm holding the camera with my chin. He would do, but it's the end of the second day. The end of the second day, and I'm almost back to the car. I've been trying small. Oh, there he goes. Catch and drop. It wasn't catch and release. That was catch and drop. I dropped him. Anyway, there it is. I managed to get food with your hook, your line, and the bee that I caught. I'm almost up to the road there. Short walk back to my car. Let me see if I can do a little bit better here. There we go. Okay, coonskin hat and the goggles and the light. I've successfully used majority of your items. I'm gonna go stop in Papa John's on the way and see if that card's got any credit on it. Anyway, it gets kind of dark here really quick this time of year. So I've got a short trail up to the road, and I'm really, really close to my car now. So I'll be back there soon. See you guys.